So if you do follow me on Instagram, there's a couple of photos I do on a diorama set. So I built one which is a sort of wood log cabin kind of style, and another one which is more just like a standard room. This is in fact my war room diorama, where these guys in front of you, that's where they're from. That's the idea. Logically, time wise, it makes no sense. I'll go through who they all are. I mean, most of you know, but the idea is it's a war room where Marcus has in his estate, where he sets up plans of missions and does all this stuff. And the war room plan itself, there's loads of accessories to go in it, so there are photos on my Instagram showing that all set up. Check it out if you're interested in that. But yeah, so this was just a completely random idea I had. So you got coal. Oh, sorry, Anya. Yeah, so you got coal. Of course, gold glasses, gold MVP chain, gold suit, because it is the coal train. So the idea is, these guys are, dressing their best for this war room. And yeah. So Anya doesn't strike me as the kind of woman who would wear sort of the same getup as this. That's why she's in I think it's Stephanie McMahon's outfit. I don't know whose this one was or who this head is, but this was supposed to be sort of Jin from Kiss 4 and 5. Again, it looks nothing like her, but in terms of figures around, it was the closest I could get to resemble Jin. Obviously, completely different hairstyle. I think this character, whoever this is, had a blue streak in the hair. Yeah, so she kind of looks like Jin, so it does the part well enough. Of course, we've got Baird. And I believe, again, LJ, another shout out again as always. He gifted me a old man Baird head that he made. And that was because with Marcus, again, the photo would be on Instagram. I had obviously this head and the old man head, and I was unsure as to which version I wanted. This was because if I had the old man head, Dom being here would make no sense, as it's clearly after the events of Gears 3. Which again, like I said earlier, timeline wise it makes no sense because Jin is here, and from what I can make out, Jin was, young in the events of Gears 3, so I doubt she ever would have met Dom, but, here he is. And it's, yeah, like, height-wise, like, this figure, whoever this one belonged to, I think it was Ric Flair, if I remember rightly, yeah, because that was, Marcus was from Triple H, he was Daniel Bryan, and this one was Ric Flair, and he's just tiny, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Dom was the same height as these guys, but according to this, he's tiny. It looks funny. But yeah. And of course, Hoffman. I also have a wheelchair for him to sit in, kind of going off on the Gears 4 prologue where he's in the wheelchair. I was debating on whether or not to have him sort of suit in a Hawaiian shirt, and I was looking at the Carlito figure for that. In terms of figures of you, I wanted to know Coltrane's was Booker T. And so the idea is to have the whole of Delta Squad in this room where they would talk about the plan, objectives, what's going on, what they're doing, where everyone would be. Now, and I've even printed off maps from the game, schematics of weapon, plans for attacks. I've done all that, printed them off for this display. But yeah, so I do have Jace as well for it, but he isn't actually quite finished yet. Still got to do a bit more on paintwork and, of course, attach the head. I mean, these guys, their heads are only attached by blue tack. I do have a spare Clayton, so it's literally just trying to find a wrestler suit figure that, one, isn't already here, because I'd rather not have duplicates, and just getting one that looks fine for Clay. I'm also a big horror fan. especially from the NECA figures. I love the Halloween and Friday the 13th figures that they've done. I decided to create the coffin or casket that the Dream version Jason comes out of in part 5, I believe. So that figure would essentially be in here, and it can open up, and when he stands in it, his head does come out and you can see it. So again, all these photos are on my Instagram somewhere. So yeah, it's not Gears related, but it's still a custom piece that I made. I mean, of course it would be laying down like that, but that shows there's after some mud, grass, and on the inside we'll see just a bit of fabric. I did measure it out wrong. It was too long, so hence why, I don't know if you can see this bit sort of mound. It's meant to be sort of like dirt running in through the cracks, but it's basically what he would have his feet on to stand on, so he can appear through here. And speaking of non-Gears related customs, here is my very first horror custom that I made. So he's kind of a Reaper like character. The body is a wrestler. I think it was a Roman Reigns body that I just painted black, outlined the sort of muscles, and sort of just detailing with a bit of grey. It was a Spawn Reaper figure, I believe, that I sort of dismantled, took apart, and I added sort of bits of armour to him. Chest plating on the figure is the chest from that figure. I added the skulls, knee pads, spikes, horns, the chain. I think I carved a gold bracelet on his bicep. The jacket it's a wrestler jacket. I'm going to say Undertaker maybe. The horns I added. Obviously it doesn't come with the horns, so they were the horns were actually like these sort of bits off of the Spawn figure, so I just cut them off, added them to the hood, and inside the hood is the skull. This was a NECA Predator skull and spine. You don't see much of the actual spine, so I did a bit of moulding on some gore for the sort of neck. The jacket does come off, and I have photos of him on my Instagram. Again, I keep saying. This guy's backstory was he was a very intelligent man, and he managed to make a deal with a devil, and during their contract negotiations managed to word it in such a way where there was a loophole where after so many years they came to claim his soul, he was able to get out of the deal. After so many years he kept doing this, to which point the devil himself was fed up and sent a Reaper after him to basically kill him, which he actually ended up being able to kill the Reaper himself, which the devil did not take too kindly to. So devil decided, sent a team of his demons up, they brought him down to hell, where the devil made a deal with him that he physically could not refuse or back out of, and in result of doing this meant that he will either have to sacrifice his own life and pay for the debt that he actually owed the devil, or he would be able to continue living and he would give his debt to his wife and his daughter. Being the piece of shit that the guy is, he decided with the second one. In doing so, he realised the mistake. The devil, being a devil, created his own loophole. He still had to pay for killing a Reaper, and of course without a Reaper there is no death, and as he killed the Reaper he took on the roles of the Reaper. He refused to do the work, so the devil decided to burn his face with hellfire, which meant that his skin melted away, which is why he's left with his skull. But the reason it doesn't heal is because it's hellfire, and as due to his punishment, his neck is continuously basically being burnt and melted. So as his flesh heals, it just starts burning again. So he's forever living in a life of pain, suffering, depression. God's a piece of shit. It's kind of what he deserves. But yeah, so it's not exactly a great story in terms of horror. Basically becomes a reaper and starts reaping people. The weapon he has, again, was from the Spawn figure, but it was a solid brown. It was kind of like a really cartoonish brown. Blade itself might have been brown as well. I can't remember if they actually had it painted or not. But I painted it chrome anyway. Did some fabric painted work. The handle I sort of did with four or five different types of brown. I don't know if you can. Yeah, sort of gave it kind of different coats and layers to make it look a bit more worn. So gemstone, gave the skulls a paint and a wash and some blood stains, and yeah. And that is everything I have to show you guys. That's all the custom work that I've done before I started filming. Everything I've made since I've shown you guys through my videos that are uploaded. And so let me know what you guys think. Which one was your favourite one? Did I rabble on too much about some of the backstories, or not enough on some of them? For a while I've been wanting to show off the customs that I made beforehand. Personally, I didn't realise that I actually had as many as I did. But thank you for joining me, and as always, I appreciate the time that you guys give. Watching my content means a lot. So again, always appreciate it. I'll end this here, and I will see you in my next video. And as always, stay safe.